Hello there. Today we're gonna tie this. This is this is a fly that is basically built up around a very famous and Scandinavian pattern that's called the woolen stocking, which is a fly composed of 3 hackles. So it kind of reminds, the style is kind of like the Irish shrimp patterns as well. But this is a little special because it's actually a combination of a fly called Tilda and the woolen stocking, but this fly has been composed and designed to have some more weight than those flies. So in here you have a fairly heavy bead, which will make this fly fish the second it hits the water. So let's get off to it. I tie this on the Pro tube fly system. So first up, I'm gonna take a piece of Pro classic tube. I'm just gonna melt the end here, like that. This is a fly that has been fairly productive on the Danish rivers for salmon and sea trout. This is a variant over a lot of different variations and stuff like that. So it's pretty impossible to actually really know who made this the first. But I've looked at a lot of different patterns, and this is kind of sorry about that. This is kind of my take on this type of fly. So first of all, I'm gonna take some holographic gold flat tinsel here, and I'm just gonna make a small butt here with this, just a few wraps, like so. I'm gonna cut off the rest of that, and the idea here is to build a fly that has a very gradual but very distinct tapering. So it's going to be small, then thicker, and then thick, and then tape down again. And the first thing we're going to do, this is made from 3 different hackles. The first one is one of these. This is a golden pheasant body fur, and the red feathers on these are simply just awesome to do larger space styled hackles, and not a lot of people use these golden pheasant feathers, but really you should, because they are just awesome. So I take one of these reddish brownish feathers here. The natural colors of these are just awesome, and I tie this down with the front side pointing towards me, so it will have the correct swerve when I turn it, like so. These are not the biggest of hackles, so you will not get more than, let's say, 1 or 2 or maximum 3 turns of this hackle, but that's okay, like so. I'm gonna tie this down, cut away the tip, the stumps here, just to see if everything is in focus. There it is. Do not want the tip of this feather to interfere. So like that. Then I'm gonna fold everything, all the stragglers, all the annoying ones, backwards, and then you get kind of like a bit shaky hackle, a bit of I don't know how to say that, but you get a nice hackle with some roughly larger hackle fibers than what you would get from, let's say, a rooster or something like that. Really adds a nice effect to the fly here, and these types of hackles, these golden pheasant red ones, are very cool for a lot of stuff, and can be used instead of heron for a lot of things. Well, basically that's the first part. Then on this Danish variation over the Tilda fly, the guy I talked to who had caught a lot of fish on this, he was very insistent that it needed some pink crystal flash, some pink flesh. So I'm gonna add some head-run, some head-run flesh here. It's called Ascent flesh, the original and the really big ones, big packages. So I'm gonna take 4 or 5 strands of this, and then I'm gonna try to place it, distribute it, so it's gonna be mixed into the hackle, and it's gonna be all around the hackle. So I'm gonna have a strand popping out, ideally evenly spaced all the way around, but that's, well, you can tie them in individually, but I mean, when this is has been hurling through the air for a lot of time and swimming a lot of time in the current, I don't think it matters that much. These are a bit long, but I'm gonna cut those down further on. Then I'm gonna take some Salmon Supreme dubbing in red. There's a bit of flesh mixed into that, so that really is a nice dubbing. Gonna add some to the tying thread here. We want this part of the body to be a bit thicker than the golden part, but not too thick either. So take a bit more. You don't need a lot of dubbing for making this, and it's nice, and this dubbing is also nice, and it has a lot of even though it's artificial, it has a lot of coarser parts that really makes this look a bit shaggy and stand out, which I like a lot. So like this. As I was saying, this is not a very difficult fly to make, but really it incorporates a lot of very fishable ideas into one pattern, and that's what I look for in any fly, but also particularly in salmon flies. You want something that has been put there. There's been some thoughts put into it, and every component has a justification, and it's not just something you put on there just for show or just for out of tradition. This is a fly that has been well thought through, every single step, and all of this is made to contrast the other materials, or to give it weight, or to make it more lively or move independently and stuff like that. So really, this is a fly with a lot of thoughts behind it. So I'm going to take a red hackle, and if you have a badger hackle, that's okay. If you don't have a badger, then that's also okay. The badger here looks quite nice, I think, but it's not crucial. Again, I tie this down exactly as the first one, with the upper side pointing in towards me in the tip, and then I'm gonna turn this hackle here. So I get this is a rooster hackle. This is a whiting rooster hackle. Again, about 3 or 4 turns or something like that. You want a bit longer hackle for this part. One of the bigger hackles on the cape, because the bead I'm gonna add for weight in a second is gonna make this hackle be pushed very far down on the yeah, someone is calling me. I'm not here. I'm tying flies, so please go away. Sorry about that. The bead is gonna make the hackle be a lot less. It's gonna fold the hackle down. So now I'm gonna fold everything back here while I make my whip finish, like so. Actually, if you just look at it, this fly here right now is nice as well, but it's gonna be great when it gets the weight, at least for the Danish type of fishing, but also for Iceland and stuff like that. I think this really could be a killer pattern. Any place where you need something that is going to go a bit deeper, then this would be good. This is the Flexi bead from Pro. Of course, they matches the tube, and these are 5.2 millimeters. So, as you can see, this gives the body, you have the thin, a bit thicker, and then thick here. and it will move over the hackle and force the hackle a bit back. That's why I used a bit larger hackle than I would do without this bead. Just gonna apply some thread to make sure that the bead stays in place, like so. And then I'm gonna take a classic brown hackle. This is the color that would ordinarily be used for these types of flies. You would have 3 of those. I've made some in pure black of this pattern as well, pure black with all brown hackles, which I think looks very, very good as well. But the red tone here I really like. I'm gonna take one of these here, like this. Gonna cut that off. Tie the feather down. Make sure the bead is all the way back. And then I'm gonna turn this hackle. Again, exactly the same way as I did the other 2 hackles. Like that. Tying down the hackle. And there you can see the third hackle is kind of erratic and really stands out and is pointing very much upward because of the large bead I have behind. So in order to actually give this fly the right silhouette and the right look in the water, I'm just gonna make my whip finish, and then I'm gonna add a cone head. Small cone head to force it a bit further back, but also to protect it and also to give it the nice finishing touch that makes this fly look completely right in consideration with the proportions and the properties of the finished result. So I'm going to take an extra small cone head here. And as you can see, when I add this will force my hackle back, my brown hackle back, and it will really make the fly look perfect. Just gonna add a bit of super glue here to the front here to make sure my cone head stays in place when I'm gonna cut the tube and melt the tube back. So just a bit of super glue here. This will not affect the hackle at all. Then push this as far back as I can, like so. And all there's left to do is take the fly out of the vise, cut off the tube in the appropriate length, and melt it back. And then you have a Irish shrimp style woolen stocking Tilda type of fly. Oh, some of these flash are a bit too long. I'm just gonna trim them to the right length, like so. A shrimp style pattern, but with the difference that you can actually change the hook to whatever you desire, and then this has some weight incorporated into it. So this fly will fish the second it hits the water. Also, this bead up here will help balance the fly. So if you have when you have your hook down here, this will counterweight that and make your fly stay more in the right position as it moves through the water. It will not the hook will not force the fly down, so it will fish straight in the water. Well, thank you very much for watching. This is a pattern that is definitely gonna be in my box from here on out. I really like this fly. Thank you a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, remember to subscribe, and you can, as always, get the complete material set for this fly in my webshop at flytying.eu. So thank you for watching, and of course, remember to subscribe.